All right, this week on Camera Talk, we're looking at one lens. We're looking at two lenses. That's right. We're going to do a kind of a head-to-head with Carl Zeiss. We got Planar, and we got the Pancolar. They're both 50 millimeters. One's a 1.4, one's a 1.8, but we'll do some comparisons at 1.8 just to make it fair, right? We like to be fair, don't we? Don't you like to be fair?
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. No.
Yeah, you don't. You like to cheat any way possible. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. And where'd this come from? As I always say at the end of each one of these videos, leave comments below and everything. Somebody actually left a comment, hey, could you compare these two lenses? So we're going to compare them. Not very scientifically, but hey, we'll do a side-by-side, Dylan and Dylan. Dylan head-to-head, right? So grab yourself something to eat or drink, get comfortable, and join Dylan and I to check it out. So let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right, Dylan and I are back for another episode of Camera Talk. This week, just as the intro said, we're going to be going head-to-head with Dylan. Dylan versus Dylan.
Oh shit, okay. Oh my god.
Actually, it's Carl Zeiss. Pancolar versus the Planar. One was made in Germany, well, East Germany at the time. The other was made in Japan. Both Carl Zeiss, both excellent lenses. Well, what do you think, buddy? We're going to figure out which one's better? Well, we're going to try to anyway. They're probably coming from the same family, slightly similar.
Only their mother can tell them apart.
Imagine that. Well, anyway, so let's look at these guys. Couple of differences right off the bat. One is an f 1.4 and one is an f 1.8. Oh my God, that's a world of difference, right? Right? Well, it just depends what you're using them for, and it depends if you're stopping them down or not. So the older one, which is my Pancolar, was made in the well, could be 1970s, could be 1980s. I mean, I looked up exactly when it was born. But compared to my Planar here, who was produced in Japan all the way up to 2004, is a more modern version of a Carl Zeiss 50 millimeter. So, starting with the Pancolar, there's 3 versions of them. That's right, version.
We haven't a job. Shit.
And one, the originator, was the Zebra version. Well, all things have versions, but the Zebra version was the first one. And what the hell is a Zebra version, Dylan? Do you know? You know zebra, right? You're learning your animals now in school? Yeah. The zebras with the little stripes, black and white stripes around the barrel. That's what they call the zebra styles anyway. A few manufacturers did the same thing. But that's version 1. Version 2, which I have here, this is version 2, is designated by the MC, which is multi-coated. This one is white MC. They also have a red MC. Apparently just a matter of who decided which one they were going to do, white or red. Apparently they're the same either way. And this one is made in the town of, or the city of Jena, or Jena, depending on how you say it in German. I don't know, I took German in grade 10, and that's about as far as I go with my German. So,
I've seen
It's a Pancolar Auto 50mm 1.8 MC multi-coated Carl Zeiss Sienna DDR. That's East Germany. GDR is West Germany. So this one was done. This one was done in East Germany, and its serial number's 3154. So it was, yeah, among some of the first runs on these things. The third version is electric. You'll see the word electric here. I have auto, Pancolar Auto, and this one's the other one's electric, which has some contacts in the bottom of the lens that again speak to the camera and give it some information between the lens and the camera. But this one was the middle child, and yeah, it's a great little lens. I mean, the only real complaint I have with these, which a lot of people do, they discovered the same thing, is that the East Germans used pretty crappy lubricant.
It actually really, really sucks.
No, not like the lubricant you're digging out of your nose right now, mister. But even crappier lubricant. Because it dried up, and you know, at some points the focus ring is easy enough to do, but see, even just with 2 fingers, pretty tough to get past that point. Once you're past it, it's a little smoother, but right at that one point, the lubricant's a little tight. Do we like it tight, or do we like it loose?
It's how you use it.
You tell me. You know, what's that little smirk? What are you getting? Anyway, the other difference between this version and the last one too is you have a silver colored ring around the outside of the barrel versus the electric, which is all black. Because, you know, once you go back, you never go back. Did I say once you go back? Once you go black, you never go back.
They said you was hung. And they was right.
So that's the Pancolar. The important parts about it's an M42 mount, which is a screw mount, or Pentax mount is another name for it. These are the most sought after ones. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because of the availability of the adapters for these things. And again, the specs on this, 6 elements in 5 groups, because it's the later versions. The earlier ones were 6 elements in 4 groups, but this has an aspheric element in there. And the early versions also go from f1.8 to f16, versus this one goes 1.8 to f22. So that's a difference as well. Other than that, you know, decent construction. Like I said already, the lubricant sucks, but the rest of it is pretty good. Now the Zebra version too, the other difference between that and these 2 versions is that from 1964 to 1967, they used thorium. Remember thorium, right? Radioactive, baby. That's right. So your lenses may turn a little yellowish on you over time, to which you could easily, you know, de-yellow them yourself with an LED light. I've done it with my Takamars and Rickenens and stuff, so it's no big deal. Anyway, but these ones are not thorium baked. The picture quality on it, sharp in the middle. It's actually not that bad, although it crossed wide open, but at its best peak performance starting at is 2.8. So that's not bad. A lot of lenses out there start at 2.8. So stopping down to 2.8 to get sharp across the screen is pretty good. Now, of course, when people go, well, if you compare that to today's Canon 50mm, please, this is a friggin' old lens, man. It's a vintage lens, so it's pretty good for what it does. And bang for the buck, you know, I got it for $100, but you can find them on eBay. Cheapest about $150. The pricey ones are like $500. I don't know, maybe they're pristine condition right out of the box or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know if I'd pay $500 for it. Anyhow, but it's known as the bang for the buck bargain as far as really good Carl Zeiss lenses go. What else? Great for portraits. It's really known for its color, for its contrast. The bokeh is kind of where it shines, so they say.
Rich, smooth, buttery bokeh.
Now, the specs on it, as I said, he had the 6 elements in 5 groups. Its close focus distance is 35 centimeters. Has 6 rounded aperture blades, so the bokeh balls stay relatively roundish as you're stopping down. And oh, you okay there? The weight of it is 225 grams, so it's fairly light. It's lighter than the Planar. So, anything else? Anything else I wanted to say about that? Yeah. Anyway, I think that was it. It has the same cons as the Planar. Suffers from a little distortion here and there, and has been known to flare.
Deal with it. Okay, and you're welcome.
Yeah, flaring. Nothing worse than flaring lenses, right? So, the Planar is, again, has a long history, obviously beginning in Germany, and then eventually, moving off to Japan.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
Cosina in Japan made these things all the way to 2004. So, and it's got a 1.4 aperture, and its construction, again, it's newer, but its construction is much better. The Japanese were using much better lubricants. It's just as smooth and silky as it was the day it was born. Were you smooth and silky the day you were born? I don't know, I remember seeing your little blue blanket going, Looked kind of like a weird little old man wrapped up in a blue blanket, kind of looked like he'd been at sea for years, an old sailor. Do you know what that, can you picture that? Yeah, huh. So anyway, the Planar 1.4, it's got obviously a wider aperture, better for collecting light as the sun goes down. It's got the T-star coating designator on there, and it's just pretty plain across the top. Carl Zeiss Planar 1.4, 50 millimeter, and with the serial number and the T-star. That's it. That's all you get marked on there. And again, this is made in Japan as opposed to the ones that were made in Germany. And as I said, this is an earlier version of the Planar. And this, again, in the Contax Yashica mount, CY mount, the aperture here only stops down to f/16 versus the later versions, which goes to f/22. So anyhow, so this is going to be a 1970s to 80s and 90s lens, probably 70s, 80s maybe. Anyhow, again, same type of performance as the Pancolar. Has a little distortion and flaring here and there, and it's great. Again, wide open, nice and sharp, especially in the center, and sharpens up as you start to stop down on it. And also known for its color, its contrast. It's great for portraiture. You know it, portraiture. Because then who are we talking about for portraiture? Who do we take pictures of here at Camera Talk? Dylan, right? Dylan, yeah, Dylan. So, the specs on this one, a little different than the Pancolar. This one has 7 elements in 6 groups. Its close focus is a little further away. It's 45 centimeters. Has the same 6-bladed aperture, but they are less curved than the other ones. So stop down to f2, starting at, you get the ninja bokeh balls, right? And then at 2.8 they switched to the hexagon, and pretty much continued the hexagon all the way to f16. So if you want nice round bokeh balls, shoot them wide open, baby. Shoot them wide open. It's heavier, it's all metal, so it's heavier than the Pancolar, which has a little rubber and plastic here and there. This one is 290 grams, so it's, like I said, beefier, and it's got extra elements in there too, beefier than the Pancolar. So otherwise, great for bokehs, great for portraits. They both have decent bokeh. The Pancolar rumored to have better bokeh than this one, but still, the Planar is a very nice piece of glass as well. So let's get you some shots using this thing, because that's what we do here, right? So what I do is I take a photo of my Canon M50, which is recording this video and all my videos actually, in that regard. So what I do is I get a close-up on the, or I try to anyway, on the end of the lens. The end, oops, I went past critical focus there. On the end of the lens to try to get the writing on the nameplate and see how clear I can get it. Now, as I said, the lubricant on here sucks, so this focus is a little tight, especially with Dylan moving around. Right about there, I think. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's at 1.8. Let's do 5.6, just because we can. And 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was the Pancolar at 1.8 and 5.6. Now let's get the Planar, do the same thing, but I'll do 3 shots just to show if there's any difference between the two at 1.8. So I'll do one at 1.4 just to show you what 1.4 looks like, because might as well show off what it can do. Focus so much smoother on this one. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's do almost f2. We'll do just a hair before it. See if we get a 1.8-ish looking shot on there. All right, 1, 2, 3. And then at 5.6. The other difference too between these two lenses, the aperture ring on the Planar, the f1.4 starts to the left. The Pancolar, the 1.8 starts at the right end and goes this way. Whereas in this one starts here and goes that way.
Get the fuck out of here.
Woo! Things they do differently in Germany and Japan. All right, so 5.6 is right about there. No bleeding. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was at 5.6. All right, so you may see or you may not see any differences between the two, just looking at the end of the lens. Like I said, they're both center sharp and everything else, but maybe you could tell with the edges, how the background might blur out a little bit. So let's get you some shots of this guy, Mr. Dylan. So here's Dylan on the Pancolar at 1.8. Now here's Dylan with the Pancolar at 5.6. Boop, get your hand out there. Boop. Okay, so that was 1.8, 5.6. Whew, holy brain fart there. Must be that after effect from COVID. Ugh, just ate part of that my brain where I can't remember that one point.
You just ate the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
So here's Dylan with the Planar at 1.4, which is a little different. 1.4. Here's Dylan with the Planar at 1.8. And here's Dylan at 5.6. Ah. What are you waving at? Hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Not yet, mister. All right, so that was shots of Dylan using both of these lenses. And what are we missing? Random crap. Yes, we need to get you some random crap with the Pancolar at various f-stops. And how about random crap with the Planar 50 millimeter 1.4 at various f-stops? Okay, and I think that was pretty much where I would go with that. Oh, one thing I didn't mention with the Planar, the price tag. You know, I bought it for what, $200. Today, looking it up on eBay, the cheapest one starts at $250, and the most expensive one for offer is $1,500.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Again, must be a really prime condition one, and maybe the most famous person in the world owned it at one time or something. Who knows? But it sounds a little pricey for my budget. So anyway, which one would I recommend? Well, you can decide for yourself, but they both perform excellently, we say. But if you want the bang for the buck, again, the bargain, I would go for the Pancolar. And even just like mine, if it has a little gummy lubricant and whatnot, then hey, just have it lubricated.
That's what she said.
I'm a little on the lazy side and haven't gotten around to doing it yet, but I will. I'll take it apart. It's the beauty about vintage lenses. Most of them, you can take them apart and it's not that big of a deal. So anyhow, can we recommend them? Yeah, I think so. Yes. Both the Pancolar and the Planar, as I said, for budget-wise, because this is modesty photography, where we talk about tips and tricks about photography and vintage lenses, vintage cameras, different systems. One thing we try to get an element of in there is budget-friendly camera stuff. So this one's more budget friendly than this one, but this one's a 1.8 versus a 1.4. This one's an older lens versus this one. This one's the lubricant's a little shitty versus this one. So, again, everything's relative. Get what you pay for, as I always say, until collectors kill the price on things and blow it out of the water, but still. So, with that said, I think that's all we want to talk about with these lenses, yeah? With the comparison. Which one would you get? Which one would you use? Especially if you have both. Why not use both? But because, again, because of the crappy lubricant, I tend to use the Planar much more than the Pancolar. But once I lube that sucker back up, look out, Carl Zeiss. All right, so how about we give our little plug for our photo editing software, right? Well, Dylan and I, after finishing a hard day of shooting pictures of Dylan, like to edit them on Luminar. Luminar AI, Luminar Neo. Now, they come from a company called Skylum, which is located in Ukraine, and everyone knows what kind of crap the Ukrainians have been going through for quite a while now, right? Let's hear it for Putin. For boo? Let's hear a boo for Putin. Boo! Anyhow, so, hey, Luminar, the different versions. AI is what does AI stand for? Remember? Artificial intelligence. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. That was the second one I bought. The first one was Luminar 3, then it became Luminar 4, and then I got AI. And now Neo is the latest, greatest one, and Neo is a combination of AI and Luminar 4 with some additional bells and whistles thrown in there. The AI part especially, man, it's got AI everything, right? It's got AI for dust and spot removal and power line removal and scene relighting and masking AI and portrait AI and sky replacement and all kinds of stuff that you can classify as AI. And one of the better parts about it, it's economical, right? If you buy it straight off the shelf, it's about 80 bucks. 80 bucks. It's yours for life. You download it and it's yours. You don't need to upgrade anything. You don't need to buy anything else if you don't want to. And that's it. It's yours. So, no subscriptions, no other unwanted bills taken off your deductions from your bank account or credit card without you remembering that, oh my God, oh yeah, it's a subscription. So, it's yours. Do you want a deal? Do you think we can give them a deal? If you want to save 10 bucks, hey, 70 bucks is even better than 80 bucks, right? Did I say 70 bucks before? Maybe it is 70 bucks. Maybe 60 bucks. I don't know, it's been a while since I looked up the price. But anyway, 10 bucks off, whatever that price may be. And how do they get that, Dylan? How do they get that discount? Click below. That's right, you click below. And there's a link in the description that you can click on. If you buy Luminar through that link, then we get a little kickback for that, right? And that's okay. Everybody loves kickback, don't we? Yeah, kickback. And I know Dylan loves kickback. What do you get with that kickback? How much money do you get with that kickback? Huh? Is it this? $1 million.
$1 million.
That's right. What are you gonna do with your million? Go out and buy Daddy something special? Give you a nice car, maybe a apartment overlooking the beach, stuff like that. Anyway, I know you. You'll be like, no, $1 million in cookies, maybe some squeaky, annoying toys that drive Daddy up the wall. Yeah, I know you. So I know you. So anyway, I think that's all I was gonna say about that. Should they come back for more next week? I think so. Why? Because you belong here. And where do they belong, mister? What's the name of this show? Huh? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right, and Dylan. Now, what can our audience do for us to help support us? Besides sending us cold hard cash, maybe cookies for him. But how about you subscribe? That's right. Dylan, want to do one? Subscribe. How about double one, right? Get your fingers up there. You gotta have a more powerful one. There you go. Your fingers, my fingers. Subscribe. And what does YouTube like besides subscribers? They like to see the thumbs up. So give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a thumbs up. And how can we return your thumbs up? By giving you a little look at the thumbs up girls, Dylan's favorite part of the show. Thumbs up, do 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 do. Thumbs up. All right, good boy. So I think that was it, right? Is that it? Yeah. So come on back next week. We do it every week. We don't do the same thing every week. We sit in the same spot every week. But we talk about different things every week, and Dylan behaves differently every week. Maybe looks a little different every week.
What the fuck?
So come on back, and we'll see you next Friday. All right, that's it. All right, stay safe out there. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening. Thanks for dealing with our little hiccups here and there. You call them hiccups, right? Start with an F. But we'll see you next week. All right, I'll say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Here I